The most corrupting force available to a man is not failure. It is the specific kind of success that makes his thinking about himself feel permanently justified. Every system a man builds, every position he earns, every room he earns the right to enter, produces a version of him that serves the system's needs, not his own. The system needs him confident, certain, unquestioning of the position he occupies. And slowly, without announcement, the system's version of him begins to replace his own. If the system you are operating in has begun to determine how you think, rather than the other way around, you are not governing the system. The system is governing you. And the man who cannot see that distinction from the inside of it is the man most completely consumed by it. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the known world for 19 years. The Roman Empire at its height, absolute authority, every institution designed to confirm his importance, every person around him structurally incentivized to tell him what he wanted to hear. He spent those 19 years fighting, not his enemies, not competing emperors, not the barbarian pressures at the borders. He spent them fighting the version of himself the empire was constantly trying to produce. Every morning, before the empire's day began, he wrote, "Today on Ironframe, we study exactly what he was fighting, exactly how he fought it, and exactly what 3 cognitive disciplines allowed one man to govern the most powerful empire in the world, without the empire ever governing him." The Roman Empire in 161 AD was not merely a political structure, it was a total environment, designed at every level to produce a specific version of the man at its center. Every ceremony confirmed his supremacy. Every advisor filtered information toward his preferences. Every institution in Rome had a structural incentive to tell the emperor what the emperor wanted to hear. This is the most sophisticated corrupting force available to any man. Not poverty, not failure, not adversity. Those forces pressure a man from outside. The empire pressured Marcus Aurelius from inside, replacing his thinking with its own so gradually that the replacement itself was invisible. What Marcus Aurelius did in response to this pressure has been misread for 2,000 years as philosophy, as wisdom literature, as Stoic self-help for the educated man. The meditations were not philosophy. They were a daily corrective, written every morning, before the empire's version of Marcus Aurelius had fully assembled for the day. They were not wisdom produced for others to read. They were a man fighting his own system, alone, in private. Before the world arrived to tell him who he was, he did not write them once. He wrote them every day. The question the meditations answer is not, how does a man become wise? The question is more precise than that, more urgent than that. How does a man maintain the integrity of his own thinking inside a system that was designed at every level to replace his thinking with its own? Marcus Aurelius found 3 answers, not through personality, not through natural virtue, through 3 specific cognitive disciplines applied every morning before the empire had finished assembling its version of him for the day. Principle 1. The emperor who refused the mirror. The man who governs a system must actively resist the system's version of him. Every system produces a reflection of the man at its center, and that reflection always flatters, always confirms, always adds height to the figure it shows. The Roman Empire told Marcus Aurelius every day through ceremony, through deference, through the architecture of absolute authority, that he was exactly what the empire needed him to be: certain, supreme, beyond examination. He knew this, and every morning he sat down and wrote a version of himself that the empire had not produced, smaller than the empire's version, more fallible, more examined, more accurate. The man in the room you operate in, who has stopped examining himself, who has accepted the room's version of him as sufficient, is not leading the room. The room is leading him, and the room will lead him precisely where the room needs to go, not where he decided to go. The man who's thinking about himself is produced by the system he operates in, is not governing the system. The system is governing him. Principle 2. The discipline of voluntary reduction. Power expands the self unless the man actively contracts it. Marcus Aurelius ate simply, slept simply, refused the ceremonial excess his position generated at every turn, not because excess was immoral, not as performance of virtue, but because he understood the precise mechanism excess was operating. Every entitlement accepted confirms the empire's version of the man. Every entitlement refused keeps the man's own version intact. The man who takes everything his position entitles him to becomes the size of his position. His thinking expands to fill what his position has confirmed. His judgment becomes the judgment of a man who has accepted every confirmation the system offered. That man is not thinking anymore. He is being thought by the system that confirmed him. The man who takes less than his position entitles him to remains the size of his own thinking. And his own thinking is the only thing in the room that the system did not produce. Principle 3. The daily return. The internal condition is not something a man achieves. It is something he re-establishes every morning before the system has finished assembling its version of him. The meditations were not written once. They were written every day for 19 years. The same corrections, the same examinations, the same deliberate return to his own understanding before the empire's version arrived to replace it. Most men believe the internal discipline is something you establish and then maintain. It is not. The pressure of any system a man operates in does not pause because he established his internal condition last year or last month. The pressure continues every day. The return must match it. The man who established his internal condition once and has not returned to it since has not maintained it. He has abandoned it slowly enough that he cannot see it happening. The system resumes every morning. The return must resume with it. Not because the man has failed, because the pressure never stops. 3 disciplines, 1 architecture. Refuse the mirror. Contract the self. Return every morning. Not as philosophy, not as self-help. As the precise daily mechanics of a man who understood that the system he governed was the most sophisticated threat to his own thinking that had ever existed, and who chose every morning before the empire arrived to remain the author of his own mind. Marcus Aurelius governed the most powerful empire in the world for 19 years. The empire did not change how he thought. He changed every morning how he thought about the empire. The system you are operating in right now is assembling its version of you. It has been assembling it since you arrived. It does not need your permission. It does not announce what it is doing. It simply produces every day a version of you that serves its needs, confirmed, certain, unexamined. The question Marcus Aurelius answered every morning before the empire arrived is the same question available to you right now. Who is producing your thinking, you, or the system that needs you to think in a specific way so it can continue functioning? That question is not philosophical, it is operational, and the man who answers it every morning before the system arrives to answer it for him is the only man in the room who is actually governing anything. Subscribe. Every video on this channel is built for one purpose: to give the man already in the game the precise behavioral intelligence he needs to stop losing where he should be winning.